All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Saturday, January 22nd, and you can believe we had some great Chateau Latour last night. You'll read about that sometime next week after I get time to write that one up. But a lot of great tastings going on next week. Check it out on our calendar of events. But what have I got to sell you today? Well, one of my favorite wines is on the email today. And hey, man, I don't need to work too hard to sell Quintarelli anymore. We got a few people that are big fans of these wines. Well, Quintarelli has been exporting his wine to the United States for 100 years now. It was exported to the U.S. in barrels until the 50s. And this producer is considered the godfather of Verona. Giuseppe Quintarelli, now getting up in years, but still one of the top producers, and all of the guys look up to this. All the producers look up to Giuseppe in Verona. And Amarone is a unique wine. It's one of my favorite wines, and it's very rich. It's very powerful. Usually I like wines that are a little more balanced, but it also has balance and power. And Amarone is a style of wine. You know, in Italy, they make it very confusing for us consumers. You know, they label wine by the region from where it comes from. Chianti, Classico. They label it by the grape varietal. Pinot Grigio, Santa Margherita, and then they also label it by the method of production or the whatever type of labeling is what I call it. Amarone, and Amarone is a actual type of production where they dry the grapes but till they become almost raisiny, and then they make the wine out of the dried grapes. So this is an ancient method of production. They have forms of this wine throughout history. They go back into history almost 1,000 years, and it used to be called Recioto. All of the Amarone until the 50s, and Britannia is kind of credited with inventing the style of Amarone that they currently use. But Quintarelli's is a little different than most everybody else. He dries his grapes a little longer, so Quintarelli's wines are a little more extracted and a little sweeter. The other great producer, Dell, which we follow, is the exact opposite in style. He doesn't dry his grapes for near as long, and he uses new barriques. Well, Quintarelli uses all large oak, Slovenian oaks, cask. He does not use barrique in any of his wines. And I had a chance to visit Giuseppe Quintarelli a couple of years ago after Vin Italy, and I can tell you, after visiting his winery, well, I spent all the money that I had there. Actually, we went down to the local bank because they don't take American Express at Quintarelli, and they would only offer us one bottle of reserve each of each vintage that they had, and it was $500 a bottle at the winery, and I had to change in all of the money that I had to buy the two bottles. $1,000 was all the cash that I could muster up, and I came home with two bottles of Quintarelli, and almost didn't make it home because I didn't have any cash to catch a cab to the train the next day. So luckily, I found Liz at Vin Italy, and borrowed some money from her. Well, actually, she owed me some money here at the store. So actually found someone in Italy that owed the Wine Watch money, and she paid part of her bill, and luckily I could make it home. But hey, we've got all of Quintarelli's wines here in the store, starting with the Bianco Secco, their dried white, which is a blend of Tokai and Sauvignon Blanc. And then we've got the Primo Fiore, the entry-level wine. We've got their Valpolicella. Oh, sorry, we don't have their single vineyard Valpolicella Cado Merlot. I think that's the only wine that is not on this offering. Hey, we even have the 2000 vintage Cuvée Giuseppe Quintarelli Selezione. And this is what the reserve wine used to be, the wine that they would only sell me one bottle of each vintage that they had available while I visited Quintarelli. And hey, we'll give you guys at least two bottles, okay? And guess what? Man, it's only a few dollars more than buying it at the winery. Well, actually, I don't know what the 2000 costs. I think we got 88 and 90 when we visited them. The Recioto, one of my favorite dessert wines, and one of the questions I had for the young lady that toured us through Quintarelli, we noticed on some of the casks, why does it say Amarone / Recioto on some of them? Well, Quintarelli keeps his wine in cask for so long, it takes his fermentation so long to finish, that certain casks he doesn't know whether he's going to call them Recioto or Amarone until they're sometimes several years old. So a very unique style of production. And hey, these wines aren't for everyone, but hey, at the price, not everybody can afford them. All right, folks, check out everything we've got from Giuseppe Quintarelli on this offering. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.